there's this beautiful message, which we share often on the show from A Course in Miracles, that miracles are natural. And when they do not occur, something has gone wrong. So it's natural to manifest. It's our natural state. Does that resonate with you?
Gabrielle Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers.
Welcome back to Dear Gabby, people. Welcome back. Joshie and I are recording in sunny Los Angeles.
What a surprise.
We are in the Dear Media Studios on the road. We've been on the road.
We've been on the road.
We were in Phoenix yesterday.
Yep.
Then we did a talk. That was a great talk.
It was a beautiful talk.
We'll share some of it on the show.
Yeah,
we'll share a little bit of it.
Sure.
We'll do some clips or whatever. It was such a good talk. It was a bunch of hairdressers. And we talked about how the hairdressers were therapists.
I died when that woman said that.
Because like when you get in someone's chair, they're like a therapist.
Yeah.
It was
totally.
so great. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Really
so we talked about so many cool things. And here we are now. We're in the Dear Media Studios in LA. And we have a really good episode for you today. This is all about some of my top manifesting moments.
Yeah, this is fun. This is really fun.
Some of the stories of just wild synchronicity, the stories of when the universe really showed up in my face like a billboard. Those moments when you look at your life and you realize that you're not living in this world, just your human body lugging around this flesh and this body, but you're actually a spirit among spirits, having a spiritual experience.
So beautiful.
That's what today is about.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful episode. And we're right here in manifesting season.
We are.
We're deep in it.
Deep.
We are in it, shouting from the rooftops. It is manifesting challenge season.
Yeah.
Got to get in early, people, because the sooner the challenge starts on January 1st. And it's my 21-day manifesting challenge. It is my most sought after event of the year. It is. 150,000 people have gone through the challenge.
I giggle because it's just so massive.
It's so massive. We'll get to 200,000 this year, probably. I think we will, because this is it. People all over the world are doing the challenge. I meet people, you're with me in the airport. Random people come up to me. I did your manifesting challenge. I did. And maybe they'll read books and things like that, but everyone's done the challenge. It's like the thing to do.
And you know, what's interesting to me, like when you talk to these people who have gone through the challenge and have experienced manifesting, it's such a range of things that people manifest for, right? Like that's what is always interesting to me. Like,
super cool.
Not just a sort of object, but it's sort of a larger sort of perspective.
They're manifesting oftentimes just feeling good, but people have gotten married. I've seen babies.
Houses. That's what I mean. It's such a spectrum of.
It's such a spectrum.
Yeah, I love that.
So if you're thinking about the manifesting challenge, don't hesitate. Go to deargabby.com/manifesting challenge. You get all the details. If you get in early, there's the pre-training. So you just get in there, people. You don't miss it.
Now.
Like today, like right this second, deargabby.com/manifesting challenge. And so in the spirit of manifesting and in this season of preparing for what's coming, we're going to riff today about some of my big manifesting stories.
I love this because I love when we get to sort of dive into Gabby life for a little bit. It's really fun.
And this came up because what happened, Josh? You got this message.
Well, we got this message from somebody. And I'll just read it.
Yeah, just read us the message.
So this came in. I would love to watch a video with your top 10 manifesting experiences. Would love to hear the major ones and maybe some less spectacular ones too. There's so much to talk about on this topic. Maybe apart from the theory, there can be some clear examples of manifestation actually happening in your own life. And we do. You have so many of them. We were just talking about it on the way to the bathroom. Like, I did this and da-da-da.
Everything.
Yeah.
Your life is a manifestation when you start to tap into the spiritual realm. And that's actually been my experience, that when I'm in alignment with my spiritual connection and when I feel calm and connected, when I'm in self, which is what we talk about in the new book,
right?
When I'm in that resourced part of myself, when I'm feeling connected and compassionate and courageous and calm, that's when the synchronicities become normal. That's when manifesting is just the natural effect of life. And there's beautiful extreme moments where you're just like, holy shit, how did that happen? But there's also these moments where we just have to really accept and recognize that that's normal. And there's this beautiful message, which we share often on the show from A Course in Miracles, that miracles are natural. And when they do not occur, something has gone wrong. So it's natural to manifest. It's our natural state. Does that resonate with you?
I never really thought about it like that But yeah, it makes complete sense,
Mhm.
right? It's like almost like the path of least resistance, right? Like,
Mhm.
why go against the grain? Let
Mhm.
it flow and it'll all just unfold.
What you're saying is actually super cool because when you I study the teachings of Abraham Hicks,
Mhm.
and the Abrahams, it's like these spiritual entities that this woman Esther Hicks channels, and the Abrahams say that there's only a stream of well-being, and it either flows or it doesn't, but it's your choice to flow, and that flow is in our it's in our world. We have the chance to flow and to be in the synchronicity of the world and the universe, but we block it. And there's only a stream of well-being. You're either in the flow or you're not. And so we have this access. I have lots of stories of how that access has presented itself to me. There's just so many, Josh. Where should we begin?
Well, let's begin with the big one, right? There
Mm-hmm.
was somebody that you were like, you had your eye on getting on somebody's show
Mm.
and you
Mm.
just, I'm being a
The
little
big
coy. So
O, the
yeah,
big
the big
O.
O.
Yeah. Okay, great. There's a good one. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful place to start. So when I was early in my career, maybe I was three books in. I was probably 31 years old-ish. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was about 31. I had this vision at the time. The holy grail was Oprah. It still is, but I think, now it's like the TikTok star can be, blow up your book or
Right.
whatever. But at the time, it was like you get on Oprah and your book is just going to be a bestseller. And I was already a few years into my career, and the dream was Oprah. I had this image of Oprah on a vision board. I would sit and I would meditate with this just image of Oprah all the time. I was just breathing into the feeling of what it would feel like to be sitting next to her, having a spiritual conversation. The Oprah show was over and she was doing Super Soul Sunday. And it was the early days of Super Soul Sunday. And I was like, this is my show. I mean, she wants to talk about spirituality. Like, this is
Right.
the show I want to be on. Every day in my meditation, I would sit there and I would just visualize and visualize. And then in the visions, I started to feel and feel more and more connected and more aligned with that feeling. And then one afternoon, I was working at my desk and I wrote down on a post it, I'm ready to be on Oprah. It came through me like an inner knowing. I wrote it down. I kid you not. The next day,
Oh,
the next day, a phone call comes in from a Chicago number, your hometown.
yeah, my hometown.
And I was like, who's calling me from Chicago? Like, what the hell? I pick up the phone. It's this woman. She goes, hi, my name is Cornelia. I'm the producer at Harpo. I'm calling to talk to you about doing a segment on Super Soul Sunday. And I literally said to her, I was expecting this call. Kid you not.
No, that's insane.
To the day. So that's the big O. That's the big O. And that manifestation was such a pinnacle turning point for me because it really did give me this launch pad for my career and for the mission driven work I was here to do. And it was when I let it go, when I was just focused on the feeling of what it would feel like to be sitting with Oprah, that it really did manifest. I wasn't strangling the desire. I wasn't thirsty. I wasn't like overly pitching myself. I was just sort of like, okay, this will be what it's going to be. And they found me.
It's like you talked about at the very beginning of this episode, in the flow. You just sort of like got in the flow. It's funny. When you said that, I have this image of, I don't know if you ever saw Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And so, there's this like stream of like undersea creatures that like there's like a jet stream that they flow in. And that's kind
Yeah.
of how I see it. And you like can, you kind of got to jockey your way in, but once you get in, you're in the flow and it'll take you all the way across the ocean.
Yeah, yeah, and you have to jockey your way in because the world is taking you out so
Correct.
much, and so you have to sort of get back into adjustment, and then you're in the Nemo.
And then then you're gonna find Nemo.
You're gonna find Nemo.
Oh,
A whole
Mm,
new meaning to it. But
mhm.
that's all I can see is like just this sort of energetic flow, like a path, like a you
Mm.
know.
That's a beautiful visual. I like that a lot.
And
Yeah,
when you were talking about Oprah, it was like, oh, the note was just the last moment. Like you got to the other, to that point.
that note was, yeah, I know this is
You
coming.
knew
I
this was
feel it
coming.
coming, and then boom. You'll actually notice as a manifestation is coming closer, you might feel into it. You might feel the sensation of it. In fact, when you go through the 21-day challenge, as people say, they feel this experience towards the end of the challenge where they start to feel like things are speeding up for them and they
Yeah.
start seeing more synchronicities and more angel signs. And it's so, so rad. In fact, let's talk about a sign story. Let's go
Yeah.
into a sign story.
Sure.
I love this one. It's from Super Attractor. It's around the time that I was manifesting my child. And if you've listened and followed me for a while, you might know that I struggled for about 3 years trying to conceive my son. And it was really hard for me. I was really, really sad and just sort of consistently bummed out. It kept failing and just wasn't happening. And towards the journey where I was ready to do some fertility treatment, I was doing IUI, which is the turkey baster.
Oh,
Give you a little bit of stimulation and then they time your ovulation. And I was feeling like the first round that I did not work. And I remember I had asked my son for a sign. I said, give me a sign of lilies to let me know that you are indeed on the way. I wasn't sure how they'd show up, but they would show up. And the lilies would come in different forms. Like somebody might send me lilies. And it's just a beautiful thing. They would just show up. And then they did this first round of IUI. And I thought like I'd been trying for 3 years and now I'm doing fertility treatment. It should just work. And I got the call and the doctor was like, it didn't work. We'll try again next round. And I was so shook by this. And I walked into my husband's office. And I sat down on his lap. And remember this so vividly. I was sitting with him and I was in his lap and I was just crying. And I was like, just crying, crying, crying. And his phone was on the desk. It was locked. Like the second you shut your phone, put your phone on, it locks. Out of nowhere, this song starts playing. Way go Lily. Well, and do you want to hear it? It gets even crazier.
Yeah.
Look at the album title. Read it out loud.
I see the sign. I
That's
can't.
the
No, I
title
can't. I really
of
can't.
album. The song is called Way Go Lily, and the title of the album is I See the Sign.
I can't.
And I'm crying in my husband's arms. I'm really just shook. And then out of nowhere, this song starts playing, Way Go Lily, Way Go Lily. And I look at it and I'm like, wait, what is that? And I go to turn off the phone and then I start listening to the lyrics and I lose my mind. And then I look closer and the album is I See the Sign.
I see the sign.
I see the sign.
It's just unbelievable.
You cannot make
Never.
this up.
No.
You can't make it up. And then a month later, I was pregnant.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
One month
the
later.
next round.
The next round.
Next round. Yeah.
That's insane. Insane.
Yeah.
It's insane because I don't think I've ever heard that story.
You haven't.
No.
Yeah.
And that's blowing me away. Not really surprising, but like, whoa.
Like,
that's a mind blow.
Whoa, mind bender.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's really beautiful.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's also beautiful because then if you know your son, like what was created, what arrived for you, what landed is just really special because he's a really extraordinary little kid.
Yeah. And he and I talk about the angels and the guides and, he believes in, he talks to his angels all the time. It's so special.
I love that.
So that's a great one because it was such a low moment and the universe will deliver when you need those messages, but we have to ask for them.
I was going to say if we have to ask, that's one of the keys, right?
Ask and it is given is the beautiful Abraham Hicks message. Ask and it is given. Ask and it is given. If you don't ask, if you're not opening your heart to receive these messages, you will not receive. You will not receive. So opening your heart in a way where you have the willingness and you have the desire. And I just kept saying, show me the sign, show me the sign. And then this album, I See the Sign, Way Go Lily.
That's crazy.
Can't make it up. Cannot make it up.
Like when I can feel when I'm out of that flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, the training myself to be able to recognize it, check in, find out what's the block and get back in.
Yeah.
That's the important thing for me.
Yeah. I would say that witnessing and recognizing that you're out of alignment is going to be the theme of this season that we're in right now with my book, Self-Help, because so much of the book is about checking in when we're checked out. So when we notice, okay, I'm not in alignment with source, I'm not in alignment with the flow, I'm out of that Nemo flow, I need to get back in. This is your way to jigger back in. Self help. Self help is a 4-step process of just checking in with the dysregulation and coming back to regulation. And go pre-order the book, everybody. Go pre-order the book. It's out December 31st.
Yeah.
And there's so this is the tool. So there's an answer to that, right?
Right.
We're gonna be out of alignment most of the time. The reason I live in alignment the majority of the time is because I've literally been training for 20 years of just training my brain, my nervous system, writing 10 books on this topic of coming back, coming back, coming back. And of course, the challenge, the manifesting challenge, the 21 days is the perfect way to get into that alignment. You get in, it's 21 days of alignment. And you're in that alignment and you come back and you come back and you come back. And so that's on January 1st. I'm going to keep reminding everybody, deargabby.com/manifesting challenge.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
miss
it's,
it.
I mean, it's great.
Don't miss it. Yeah. And so let's see, there's probably one more story I could give you. Okay.
Well, there's a small one.
A small one?
Yes, well, it's sort of selfish, but like it's the show.
Our show, our show, Dear Gabby. Yes, this was a really small one, but it was a big one. Sometimes we manifest things that we actually don't know that we want, but then we get them. Okay, this is cool.
Oh, I love that.
So in 2020, world went into lockdown. I got on Instagram and I went wild. And I started doing a show called Dear Gabby on my Instagram every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Thousands of people throughout the world would come on. I would bring them live on my Instagram and I would Dear Gabby them. I would coach them. And I would do my own makeup. I would do my own lighting. I would do my own everything. It was like, but I would never fail. And I literally have literally hardcore fans, like that still find me and they're like, remember when we were on Dear Gabby?
Yeah.
And at the time, everyone was doing a podcast. I didn't want a podcast. I was like, I'm too busy. I'm writing my books. I'm doing these things. I didn't want a podcast. But my friends Lewis Howes and Jay Shetty were always like, do a podcast. I never wanted it. But I was doing this show. And out of the joy of this show, I was just feeling such ignited spirit. And sometimes when we're in joy, the universe will show us what to do. And we'll be given these opportunities that we otherwise might have avoided or missed. But when we're in joy, we get back into that Nemo flow,
Right.
The universe presents to us exactly what we need. And so out of nowhere, about 6 months into doing the show, Dear Gabby, I started getting calls from different podcast networks. I got a call from this amazing guy, Max Cutler, who at the time was working at Spotify. He did some huge shows, To Call Her Daddy, whatever. And Max was sort of interested in working with me or just getting to know me. Even that was like driftwood. Like, okay, there was a sign that the universe was like, you should do a show. Max Cutler's calling you. And then I got a call from these agents and they wanted to sign me for the podcast. And so I was looking at the signs and instead of deflecting it or saying, I don't want to do that, I was curious. And I said, okay, universe, what is it that you want me to do? And very quickly, once I said yes to what the universe was delivering, I realized this little show I was doing on my Instagram was actually a podcast.
Mhm.
And I could reach far more listeners and I could have it be something that could be evergreen and out in the world. And it was about a month later, we sold the show to Here Dear Media. Here we are. And the rest is history.
Yeah, and here we are.
And here we are.
Later.
Years later.
Hundreds of episodes
yes,
later.
Millions and millions of listeners. And it's really beautiful because that manifestation came not out of force, but out of freedom. It came from not pushing, but just being present and being in the joy.
And when you were saying like, oh, I wasn't looking for a podcast, but you were looking and manifesting
yes, I
to
was
amplify
wanting
your
to
voice.
do
and-
that. I wanted a show. I wanted something. I wanted to have some format to get my work out in a bigger
Exactly.
way. And this was what was delivered to me.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, a really important message I know for me, where it's like you said, it's like, well, in my mind, I have this, but the universe is like, no, it's going to be like this.
It's going to be different. Yeah, the universe has a better plan than you do. We
I
talk
know.
about that in the manifesting challenge. It's like really helping people surrender. There's a whole
Mhm.
day on surrender in the challenge
Right.
because when you think you've surrendered, you have to surrender more.
Mhm.
We do not want to override the universe. We want to let go and allow the stream of well-being to take over. And you are always in the stream of well-being. There's always a stream of well-being. You're going to decide to flow or you're not going to flow. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have another one or do you want me to give you a rando?
Well, I was going to ask you a question.
Great.
Sort of, this is a very broad question, but did you, in essence, manifest your career and the life you have.
Of course, everything in my life is a manifestation, good and bad. You know, there's times in my life where I was probably some physical issues were manifestations of extreme stress, right? So our bodies manifest as well. It's not to scare anybody, but when we're in a perpetual state, which I was in for so many years when I had undiagnosed trauma and I was associated from the trauma, I didn't know what it was. I was just in such a perpetual state of hypervigilance and fear and dissociation. I manifested physical issues, so it's not something to be scared of. It's something to be aware of,
Mm-hmm.
that our beliefs, our thoughts create beliefs, and our beliefs are what manifest.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we have these core beliefs that are so strong in some negative direction, we need to do the work to really heal those belief systems. Here we are again,
Right.
self-help. This is your
Right.
chance to change your life. The book will show you. So if I joke around, like I've written books like The Universe Has Your Back and Super Attractor, but the number one manifesting book is right here, Self-Help.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you change the seat of your soul, if you adjust the nervous system, if you can heal the beliefs that are holding you back, then anything is possible. Anything. Period.
Wow.
Mic drop.
Mike, I literally have nothing to say to that, but because what a message.
I wonder if we should ask for some synchronicity today. Universe, show Josh and I and whoever is listening and our listeners a sign. You can ask for your sign right now. Everybody ask for a sign from the universe that you're on the right track. I can't begin to tell you. So I usually see sparks of light.
Yep.
It's a light show right now in my world.
Oh, really?
Yes. All day. It's been like sparky, sparky, sparky. And those sparks are spirit. They're spirit piercing through the veil. And so I literally am seeing like tinsel everywhere and channeling like crazy. And so let's ask for our sign. What's our sign? What should our sign be?
Well,
A buffalo?
a buffalo.
We were talking about buffaloes today.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was talking about buffaloes with Jessica.
But I'll jump on the buffalo
I just thought
train.
it, so I said it, right? There's no connection to it. I had a conversation about a buffalo today, but there was the first thing I thought of, and that's our sign, okay? So
Down.
Josh and I are going to ask for a buffalo to show us that we're on the right track, that spirit's around us, that we're being guided. So everybody out there, ask for your sign right now, whatever it might be. Don't think, just whatever is the first thing that comes to your mind, that's your sign, and ask the universe to just show you that you're on the right track. Show you're on the right track. Show them to show you that they're guiding you. The universe is guiding you. Your spirit guides are guiding you. I have so many more manifesting stories. I love the Grammy story.
Tell that.
And we might have told it before on this show, but I think we can close with Fritzy.
I love it. It's so beautiful. And
It's so good.
it's
And
like,
we're going to blow our producer's mind today. We have a new producer in the studio. Okay, you ready for this one, babe? Okay, this is knock your socks off. Okay, so we have spirit guides. We talk about that a lot on this show. You can go listen to any of our spirit guides episodes. There's a day in the manifesting challenge where I guide you to connect to your spirit guides. That's fun. And for me, I know now that one of my guides is my grandma Fritzy, and she's always with me. In fact, this is crazy. Before I even get into this, in my phone, on my photos, when you go to your photos in your phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just shows you the most recent photo, right?
Yes,
Nothing's stuck in the front row.
No.
Look at what is stuck in the front row of my phone. It's a picture of me and my grandfather. There's another one that's stuck in the front row, me and my Grammy and my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is insane, you guys. It won't move. These are from January 14th. Oh, it says 2077. That's what it says. That's what it says, 2077.
Huh.
January 15th. Well, how old would I be in 2077?
Well, that's almost 54 years. So
I'd be
90.
100?
Yeah, almost 100.
Almost 100. So maybe this is when I pass that number is there. This would be interesting. We'll have to have somebody listen back in 54 years.
Put it in the time capsule.
Yeah, I'd be 99. Is that right? So this could be when my life is coming to an end, because that's what it says. It says January 14th, 2077. I'm just making this up now, but maybe it would be the end. This could be my time to come back and be with them. That's the date that's saved with these photos of my grandparents in my phone. Now it gets crazier. Talking to my mom one day randomly, she's going through her pictures, trying to show me something. Oh, it's so weird. I have these two photos of Grammy and Grampy saved in my phone. They won't leave my phone. The same photos are saved in my mother's phone. I have to check if it's the same date that I have in 2077.
Ooh.
Well, I got to text her later. We have to find out.
Yeah.
And they're in her phone too.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Stuck there. Nothing can override it.
Yeah, the
The
date.
2077?
Yeah,
What?
the
Okay,
date.
so Grammy and Grampy stuck their photos there.
Oh.
This is actually even before Grammy's story. Then there's another story. When my grandfather died, I had a BlackBerry.
She
And I
doesn't know what a
remember do
BlackBerry
you even know what a
is.
BlackBerry is? And one day I was opening my BlackBerry and it was to the notes. There was like a little
Yeah.
notes thing. And it said, Grampy is with you.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So they work through technology, Spirit will work through.
Wow.
So this is them working through the phone.
Yeah.
There's some significance to 2077.
There
It
is.
could be that that's when I pass at 99 years old and I meet them. I'll hold that. I'm in a nice life, right? And I meet them at that time. That might be what it is. I'm going to ask my mom what her date is. We have to call her after this and find out.
Can we ask Rebecca Rosen when we see her in
Oh,
Colorado?
yes. We'll see our medium friend, Rebecca Rosa. I mean, I'm a medium too. So maybe I'm hearing like that is the answer.
I
Maybe my
know.
intuition is actually accurate, but we can get it confirmed by Rebecca.
Yeah.
Although she's not going to be able to tell me when my time of
Right,
death
and
is.
she probably
but
wouldn't
She
tell you
wouldn't, and
anyway.
she can't because
Right.
that's one thing they will not tell you.
Yeah.
So I'm just assuming I'll be 99.
I love
I got
that.
work to do here, people.
Yeah,
I'll stick
well.
around. So Grammy, my grandmother was very close to me, and she had a big fall towards the end of life. And around that time, like a few weeks after the fall, we were worried. We didn't want to have to live with pain and on medication. It was just a mess. And so a few weeks after the fall, I was preparing to go to lead a retreat in Massachusetts. And I was with Jessica from our team and some other team members. And I was like, you know what, guys, we have to get in the car to leave, but I need to go meditate before we leave. And so I went into my bedroom and I meditated. And in my meditation, my hands started lifting up like to the sky. And this isn't unfamiliar for me. It's like when I get into that stream, my hands can do interesting things. And so my hands are up in the sky, and it feels as though this energy is lifting from my hands, as if I'm facilitating like a passage for something, like I'm giving something away.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on the door in the middle of the meditation. Gabby, your mother's on the phone. I go to the phone. My mom says, Grammy just passed minutes ago. And I said, I know. I was helping her pass. Okay. That's step one. Then I'm like, Grammy, I love you. I'm so happy you're not going to live in pain. I got to go teach this workshop. Give me some signs that you're good. So I go teach the workshop. I'm kind of connecting to her energetically throughout the week, but I was too busy. So I wasn't in the stream. The end of the week, I get in the car. I drive to my friend Zoe's house on my way home. And I'm with Zoe and Jenny, my friends. And at the table, we're sitting there having tea. And Zoe's like, darling, you have to pull a card from my deck, this new deck. I want you to pull a card. And she kept asking me to pull a card. Not asking Jenny, asking me. Like it was like a nudge. And I was like, Zoe, I'm just texting Zach. I need to pick out food for dinner, blah, blah, blah. And my friend Jenny's like, I'll pick a card for Gabby. This was like all about my card. They were so
Right.
focused on it. So Jenny pulls this card from a tarot deck. On the card is an image of an elderly woman crossing over a bridge. The caption under the image says, grandmother ensures safe crossing.
I don't know. That's just every time I hear it, I'm just like, holy
So grandmother ensures safe crossing. I did take a picture of that. I've got to dig up the picture. I'll find it. She's going to deliver the picture to me in my phone
Probably.
today. She was sending me a buffalo too.
And when you heard that, what was the sensation in your body?
We were like, good question. We were like, we were just so excited and so blown away. And it was just, but it was reassurance.
Of course.
I felt so much reassurance that Grammy was there and that I knew that she was safe. And now whenever I channel, she's like, "Brrr," and she used to call me Little Nose. And so sometimes I'll feel like a little tickle on my nose when I'm channeling her, or if somebody else is channeling for me, Grammy swoops in. Like she's like, I'm first. She's a boss. She's like, I need to tell you what's going on. And she'll say things like Little Nose. That's like her sign for me. And it's just, it's beautiful because we don't have to live feeling like we're in these bodies, lugging them around until we die. We can be in the awe and the just beautiful grace of the universe. And we can have these auspicious moments and let them be real. Manifesting is real.
It is real. And one of the things I love about what you're saying in this moment, and it goes with all of your teachings, is that it's all interconnected, right? Like you're not talking about angels over here and spirit guides over there and meditation here and manifesting. It's all so beautifully connected. And I think the story of your grandmother is a beautiful example of that.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying too is that there's not a spiritual part of our life. We live a spiritual life.
Correct.
When we welcome that presence into our life, we can have a lot more fun. We feel completely guided. And our intuition can show us where to go and what to do.
Exactly.
So there's my invitation to everybody. Join me. I want to help you get into you get into your Nemo flow with me, people.
Get into the Nemo flow.
Get into the Nemo flow. Join me. Let's do the challenge together. I want to bring thousands of people. I think we're going to have 50,000 people this year. That's my psychic hit. And 50,000 people. Let's go together starting January 1st. Get into the flow of that stream of well-being together. Go to deargabby.com/manifesting challenge. I want to help you do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it together.
Yeah.
And I think this is the message to close with, truly, is that ability to have these wild synchronicities is so natural that it can be the norm for you. It can be the natural order for you. And I want that for everyone.
I love that.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. All right, my friends, we'll see you next week. And I'll definitely see you inside the Manifesting Challenge. deargabby.com/manifesting challenge. See you there.
All right.
Thanks, Joshi.
Thank you.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.